Sometimes the data you want to save changes, so you can't save it in an asset. For example, you might want to randomly select a cute animal picture from an API each day. Or, for this app, you might want to know this moment's exchange rate for currencies. For this, we will call an API which retrieves real-time data. Connecting to APIs can be done with the HTTP client in Dart.io. We create a HTTP client that points to our endpoint. Our current app does not require authentication or an API key, so we just hit the endpoint with our to, from, and amount query parameters to get the unit conversion that we want. You can try out some queries by going to flutter.udacity.com/currency in your browser. For our unit converter, we need to pass in some query parameters for the from unit, the to unit, and the amount we want to convert. An API doesn't immediately return your data the way a local asset would. Because Dart runs in a single thread, if we solely wait for the API call to return, we would see a frozen screen and we wouldn't be able to interact with the app. The API call may take some time to return based on the server's speed, your internet connection, and other factors. Rather than wait for it, we wrap the API in an asynchronous operation. This lets your app continue to run without getting blocked. Dart uses future objects to represent asynchronous operations. When a function that returns a future is invoked, two things happen. First, the function queues up work to be done and returns an incomplete future object. Later, when a value is available, the future object completes with that value or with an error. We'll discuss errors later. We save the value that the future returns into a variable and call await on the function. We need to wrap the function in which this is called with an async keyword. Let's look at how we do this for the convert API call. First, we make a request to our URI. Note that it returns a future object, a double. We also add the async keyword to our convert function. Now let's get our response. This is also an asynchronous operation, so we add the await keyword. We have to decode our JSON response body too, before we parse it and return it to the units. This is also an async operation. Then we return the conversion as a double. Now you know both how to retrieve live data from an API and how to use asynchronous functions. And there we have it. We've built an entire app complete with handling live data from an API using the Dart.io package. We've used async functions and futures. Our unit converter now converts fluctuating currency units along with regular static units. It does all this in style too. But there's just one more thing.